it's so amazing to see what God does. I remember in August of 1966, I had just finished up some revival meetings with my father and some tent meetings that he was doing at that time. And we were tearing down the tent. I say tearing down, taking down the tent and putting it in the truck. And my father said, "What are you going to do after we get this home and everything?" I said, "Well, Dad, as soon as we get this truck home, I'm going to pack my car, put all my belongings," didn't have very many at that time, "and I'm headed down to Houston, Texas, going to go to Bible college." I went to Bible college, and I probably wasn't there, 2 or 3 days, and Brother Henry was there at the administration office one day and came in, and that's where we met. Well, I met him through some friends that I had met in Corsicana, Texas, but we met. And there's something about it, just God knits and bonds. And thank God for knitting and bonding, because friendship is good. And one thing about Brother Henry is the fact that we can be honest with each other, and we're friends. And we don't correct each other, but we just tell each other that the other one's right. But it's important because we can still stay bonded and be friends through all of the years and through the years. We went through good times, sad times, happy times, hard times, times that we were blessed abundantly, but we still have been friends throughout the years. And that's important. It's important to have longevity in friendship, because it's strength in friendship. And we're not just we're ministers, and we respect each other's calling of God, but there's something deeper than just a ministry relationship. We're friends, and friendship is so important to me. I want to just give some scriptures because it is rewarding, and I'll never forget Brother Henry. I met him out in he called me. We hadn't seen each other for several years after we got out of school, and he was in California at the Concord Full Gospel Church, and he called and had talked with his pastor. They had invited me to come out for a 2-week revival, and the pastor had never heard me preach, but Brother Henry had heard me preach, so I guess the pastor took his word. But anyway, we had a great 2 weeks of meeting out there. And God began to deal with me at that time to come back to Conroe, Texas, and to pastor. Brother Henry just said, "You got to obey God. You got to obey God. You got to obey God." And then at the same time, God was kind of pulling on his strings to make a change in his ministry. And finally, I called him one morning. I think you were shaving. It's a good thing you didn't cut yourself. Because what did I tell you that morning when you were shaving?
Oh, the Lord want me to come back to Texas.
Yeah, I said, just do what God tells you to do. And God had already spoken to him to do it. And anyway, he came back to Texas, and we had a little white house there in Conroe waiting on him.
Don't believe it.
And he didn't have to stay there too long because he came over to Navasota. But it's amazing. But people are called of God. And every one of you sitting here today have a call of God in your life.
That's right.
You have a special, specific thing that God's called you for. You're not going to tell God what you're going to do, because many times we want to do that. I remember at Bible college, we'd get together in the dormitory with all the young preachers, and stuff, and we'd get together and, well, what are you going to do when you get out of college? Well, I'm going to be the next Billy Graham. I'm going to be the next Oral Roberts. We're going to do this. We're going to set the woods on fire. Found out we didn't have no matches to start it with, But we tried to decide what we're going to do. Brother Henry thought he was going to do something else coming to Texas. Came through Navasota. He told Naomi, he said, "I don't know if Brother Clarence said Navasota or Nacogdoches where he had a word going. But if it's Navasota, I'll pity the person that takes this one."
I said it.
But you know what? God has your calling and assignment. What happens is we discover our assignment. And that year, when they discovered their assignment in 1976. They discovered their assignment. And I think applause and adoration is due the person. And I believe the Bible teaches us to give honor to whom honor is due. And I have to tip my hat to Brother Henry because he's got perseverance. He's got stickability. Him and Naomi both. And they've stuck it out through thick and thin. And they've seen God do the miraculous. But he discovered his assignment. See, it's not just being a preacher that was his assignment. It wasn't just being a speaker somewhere that was his assignment. God had an assignment for them to be here in Navasota to literally become the pastor of Navasota. Because all of the other pastors in this town, and it's not putting nobody down, but a lot of pastors, they have a tenure for 2 to 3 years, 4 years maybe, and then they go on to another assignment that their denomination or whatever sends them to. But Brother Henry had a lifetime assignment. And he literally has become the pastor of Navasota.